twins or have a clone. Only problem that comes when you when you're getting your Social Security, they might question you.
All right. Our awardee graduated from the University of Missouri College of Veterinary Medicine in 1972, and he's owned a solo mixed animal practice since 1973. He has mentored and taught several externs and new graduates through the course of the years in his very active general practice. I have known him both as his student in courses that have been taught through the MU Fire School and also as a co-instructor in my veterinary disaster course. I'm always amazed that he is so willing to give of his time to teach my students. And I believe that there's no substitute for the real world experience that he can bring into the classroom. He's been very active in teaching large animal rescue to students and veterinarians using modern techniques and rescue equipment. He's also a very active member of the Boone County Large Animal Rescue Team.
Even as a veterinary student, he served others by joining the Boone County Fire Department as a volunteer firefighter. When he opened his practice in Versailles, he joined the Versailles Fire Department. In 1989, he was instrumental in forming the Morgan County Rescue Squad. Carol, I suggest you tie him down. I think he's getting a bit fidgety. We may have a runaway. He did this after responding to an accident scene where a person was trapped in a wrecked pickup and took 45 minutes to extricate him because of a lack of rescue tools. He immediately began looking for ways to acquire the proper tools and training to use them. The rescue squad evolved in the Versailles Rural Fire Department, and he assumed the position of chief in 1989. He recently stepped down as fire chief, but he remains a firefighter, happy to be able to squirt water.
On the national scene, this individual has racked up an impressive service record. From 1996 to 2011, he was a member of our nation's elite urban search and rescue team, Missouri Task Force 1. To be a member of this team is no small accomplishment. He was deployed as a search team leader and saw the devastation firsthand of Hurricane Katrina. He returned with a clearer understanding of the importance of the human-animal bond and its influence on public health, because he saw that many people who stayed behind did so because they could not take their pets with them. Many of these people and their pets subsequently drowned. After Katrina, he and others pushed for legal action, and the Pets Act was signed into law in 2006. Now across this nation, communities must be prepared to evacuate and shelter both people and their pets. In 2011, he responded to the Joplin tornado in two different capacities. First as a firefighter, where his logistics expertise was used in the command center, and then he returned 3 weeks later as a veterinarian to provide medical care for animals in the ASPCA mass care shelter. He's also served on the AVMA disaster committee for several years.
I'm supposed to have a little bit of that. Where's my cat? There we go. All right. He's been chairman of the Emergency Management and Public Health Committee for many years, at least 15 that I know of. In this position, he has established solid relationships with the public health veterinarian, the state veterinarian, and the state emergency management agency, which led to effective cooperative agreements for control of animal health disasters, infectious disease, and natural disasters, navigating the politics of connecting these agents with the realities of organized disaster response by practiced veterinarians was a monumental achievement. His organizational skills were necessary for the start-up of the Missouri Volunteer Veterinary Corps, which is a model of the EM, Emergency Management and Public Health Committee. Now, the Missouri Volunteer Veterinary Corps, after several iterations, is organized with over 300 veterinarians as first responders for animal disasters. He was awarded the Volunteer Veterinarian of the Year in 2014, and he continues as an outstanding teacher and responder for animal emergencies. He has been very involved in the Missouri honor flights as guardian for veterans during the 24-hour trip to the mall in Washington to visit the war memorials. He has been on 19 flights, including a recent flight where he serves as guardian for 3 brothers who are Vietnam vets. He described the experience as similar to herding minnows. By the way, he has to pay his own way to go on that flight. He demonstrated his ability to respond quickly to an emergency situation on the flight that I was on. One of the veterans had a bad flashback on the bus coming home from St. Louis after the flight. He stood up several times and was trying to open up one of the overhead doors in the bus. Our man held him, talked quietly to him, got him to sit down, but stood beside him for the rest of the trip to Columbia.
Our recipient also has an impressive record of service as a citizen in his community. He's been a familiar face in the Optimist Club, the Lions Club, and the Chamber of Commerce. He's a Mason and a member of the Versailles Methodist Church. He's been a major organizer of the Old Time Apple Festival in Versailles. And one more thing, he's the elected coroner of Morgan County. I have a PhD in pathology, and I would not take on that job.
Our Veteran of the Year for 2018 does all these duties with calmness, intelligence, and seems to have time for fun and relaxation. He represents the very best of our profession and makes you proud to be a veterinarian. He is a veterinarian's veterinarian. Bill Jones, come up here and get your award.
Okay. Julie, whatever you guys doing here? Oh, Good County Fire, Lions Club, Fire Department, also, twice. Folks, this could not have been done without these people standing over here. From Doug Westall's dad, who was second Boone County Fire Chief, wasn't because the name was first. And the whole crew, you don't do this stuff for yourself. So thank you. But I'm sure I'll get even some. Anyway, without a good staff at the office and a bunch of firefighters that covered me every time they turned around, all this stuff wouldn't have gotten done. And Kathy's standing in the back. Thank you, folks.